Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of the Xbox Factor podcast. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL. And folks, man, oh man, talk about news to wake up to that would be considered a nightmare that you just want to go back to sleep. What can I say? Right now, we have Web Dave here joining us on this breaking news segment of the announcement from Bethesda that both Starfield and Redfall are officially being delayed into the middle of next year or the first half of 2023. This is devastating news for Xbox fans. I have a whole lot of emotions. I'm going to be civil about it. I have a lot of big opinions. Listen, if people tune into this program, to this channel, and support it through their views and through their subs, and a lot of the times through their monetary gifts in super chats and channel membership, because they trust me to deliver wholehearted, truthful opinions. And that's what I'm going to deliver today, because I am not going to try and sugarcoat this at all. This is bad optics. This is egg on the face. This paints a very dismal picture for the year of 2022 for Microsoft first-party games. As we know right now, well, there are none outside of Deathloop, which I'm not taking anything away from. The game is going to be amazing, but we've already played it. I've played it. A lot of Xbox gamers haven't, but it's not what we wanted. It was a timed exclusive. Sony fans have had it. Okay, that's great. We're getting that. Age of Empires 4 potentially coming to the console again. A game from last year. Motorsport, still no dates. Still no information. Obviously, they have their big Xbox Bethesda show coming on June 12th, so we might get a release date for that. But you have to wonder, what if that doesn't release? What are Xbox gamers going to be left with? How is Xbox Game Pass going to continue to grow? No, it's not going to grow. In fact, it's going to stagnate, and it may even lose subs over this, because I've talked to many people that have joined the service because Starfield was coming, because they're huge Bethesda fans. But before we get into my disappointment and a lot of factoids and a lot of hypotheticals and a lot of future predictions, Dave, welcome to the program, brother. How you feeling?
Feel like I had a gut punch this morning. Is how I'm feeling, Boom. But thank you so much for having me on. You sent out the bat signal, and I'm like, oh man, I want to jump on this because I'm with you. I have a lot of feelings, some hurt ones, some good ones. But it's there's a lot to talk about in this announcement, and we were talking pre-show a little bit about the just the way, the casualness of the quick little notes and drop, and it's like there needs to be more. And I
You
like
know
your
what?
opinion on
Let's
that
let's
too.
let's get into that.
Yeah.
Let me break this down. Okay. I'm going to read the press release that I know a lot of people may have seen.
We
Here's the
have time,
thing.
Boom. It's pretty long.
Yeah. This was released at 8 a.m. this morning. This is from the official Bethesda Twitter account, and it simply says an update on Redfall and Starfield. And it says, we have made the decision to delay the launches of Redfall and Starfield to the first half of 2023. The teams at Arcane Austin, Redfall, and Bethesda Game Studio Starfield have incredible ambitions for these games. We want to ensure that you receive the best, most polished versions of them. We want to thank everyone for their excitement for Redfall and Starfield. That energy is a huge part of what inspires all of us every day and drives our own excitement for what we are creating. We can't wait to share our first deep dive into the gameplay for both Redfall and Starfield soon. Thank you for your support. Now, here's the thing. Listen, it's cut and dry, right to the point. First half of 2023, these are two games that are coming. Delays have been happening left and right in 2022. So you might say, well, Boom, why are you mad? Why are you disappointed that this was delayed? These two games are delayed. Maybe they need to be delayed. And I say, well, you're right. Maybe they need to be delayed. But here is where I have a problem with the optics of this delay. It's not the fact that Microsoft has no first party games releasing on their platform, which is making incredible strides to become market leader. About a month ago, Cory Barlog, right? You know who Cory Barlog is, right? He is head of or one of the heads of Sony Santa Monica. He was the creator of God of War 2018, and in its own right is a masterclass work at that studio. We are all expecting, and I'm expecting a delay of God of War. I don't expect it this year. I really don't, and not because I want to laugh at Sony. I want to play God of War. It's one of my favorite franchises.
Right.
I can't wait to play it. But here's the difference, and this is where the optics come in. And please, by all means, boo me in my own chat if you want. It's fine. I can take it. I'm a grown man. I have thick skin. But Cory Barlog and Sony Santa Monica, as well as SIE PlayStation, put out a video with Cory front-facing to his fans and said, hey, listen, we know you want to see God of War, but we are not ready to show. But I promise you that when we are ready to show it, we're going to blow your doors off, right? Took the time to put a video out there to speak to us, the fans, the consumers, right? I don't like the way this went down, and I think it was half-hearted. Starfield is one of the biggest IPs Bethesda has put out in a decade. Let that sink in, folks. This is not me taking an opportunity to dump on Xbox. It's my favorite brand. I have 2 dedicated shows weekly to the brand. Tells you something about my character. But I am not going to sit here and make excuses on something that should have been done with more class and tact. And let me welcome in, speaking of class and tact, Pong Soul. Dude, I didn't know we were going to get you
Pong.
here. Pong, it's great to have you, brother. I don't know if you hear us. You're in the show. You don't hear us. He's got to fix his stuff. I'll get to Pong in a second. I know that he's devastated as well. Look, here's the thing. Okay. I don't go out of my way to dump on anyone. I give the smoke, or like in the words of Kay Asante, my brother, the righteous smoke when it is required. And I do it in a way that isn't finger pointy, that does bring facts to the emotion behind the conversation that we're having. I pride myself on this channel for doing that. I don't know when someone from Bethesda or like Phil Spencer saw this game and was like, yeah, this is, man, this is not good. And now they just announced this today. I mean, just 2 days ago, folks, there were pictures by Aaron Greenberg, good friend of this community, great friend of this community, that they met with Bethesda. They were having dinner. They were having drinks. They were all meeting up. I'm assuming that this is where the decision was made, right? Like it's safe to assume that, hey, this is, they got in, hey, take a look at the game. Phil, we got to delay this. Listen, a delay isn't the problem. Okay, if the game needs to be delayed to make it the best game it could be, that is perfectly okay with me. You're never going to hear me complain about that. The fact that it's 2 games, well, sometimes that's the way the ball bounces. Sucks, right? I'm still playing a bunch of games. I have a backlog as tall as I am, and I'm 6 feet, right? but optics, folks, the bigger picture is what we need to sit down and discuss. This was a real crappy way to make this announcement, and I don't give a hoot nanny what you say about it. A Twitter post with a thumbnail to its fans is piss poor. That's it. That I don't want to hear nothing about it. No defense force for Xbox. This is not the way it should be done. You're a $2.5 trillion company. You got to be better. Okay, you got to use the marketing dollars that I know that you have and the talent that you have at Xbox Game Studios to make this a better announcement. You don't just throw it up on the Twitter space and think that that's cool, because I certainly don't. That's not respecting your fans. To me, that is a bit of a kick to the balls, in my opinion. Okay, you saw what a Corey Barlog did. He got out there like the master classman that he is, and he spoke to us. He spoke to the fans, whether it be Pete Hines, whether it be Todd Howard, or both of them together, or the head of Austin Studios. Someone should have got up there, did a video, and posted that video explaining, hey, listen, COVID's a thing, folks. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, COVID, no big deal. It's a big deal. People are still dropping dead. Here in New York, the rates have gotten so high that my brother and I were scared that we didn't go see Doctor Strange. We were like, you know what, Marvel, I love you, but I'm not dying for you. So I wound up doing a 3-hour Halo stream instead. And it wasn't even a stream. It was just me playing with community members on Xbox Live. I don't even stream because I'm not a streamer. That's how it should have been done. They should have got out there and made a video and said, hey, listen, we apologize for this. We know people are disappointed, but we need more time. Not a half-hearted thumbnail post.
Yep.
So before I get Dave, let me just welcome in Pong Soul. Welcome in Fuzzy Belvedere. This is bad news, folks. This is not the news I expected to talk about. As a matter of fact, it's funny. Everborn Saga called me on my way up to. I had an appointment this morning with the World Trade Center doctors. I got to go yearly to make sure that Boom is going to be around the following year. So far, everything looks good, folks. So I'm going to be around. But he calls me up and he goes, "So they got nothing this year?" And I'm like, who are you talking about? You talking about Sony or it was Xbox? Xbox. I'm like, well, they have Redfall that you didn't see. I said, see what, dude? He's like, they just announced the delay. I'm like, now I'm in the car. I'm driving. I can't pull over to the side of the road and look at this. And I was numb. Dave, where do you personally fall with the optics aspect of this? The way that they announced this was not the best way, I think. What are your personal opinions on that?
I'll tell you, it definitely looks bad. It doesn't look good, and not we don't like quote unquote the fanboys on either side, but this basically was just like total fuel to the fire. I can't tell you how many posts I have seen of like oh, no games for Xbox, no game, and granted, there probably is gonna be some issues with their God of War Ragnarok, whether it comes out this year or not. The thing is if Sony does push it out and it's like Forbidden West was, they're going to be in bigger trouble, because Forbidden West is a beautiful, great looking game,
packed with bugs.
Issues. It has lots of bugs. It has some stutter. It has things that a polished game shouldn't have. A Sony first party game usually wouldn't have. Now, I'm not saying it's their fault because of the pandemic and things like that are holding developers back, but when you throw it out there, Cyberpunk, big example, it's just, you just don't do that. But the optics of it look bad, and it was just a little clip, little note, dropping it out there. Hey, it's going to be delayed. You'll see it soon. If they had at least, not necessarily even Todd Howard, but somebody from Microsoft come out and said, you know what, we want this to be the best game. We're gonna delay this game, until after the beginning of the year. We're gonna delay Redfall to the beginning of the year, or till the beginning of next year. And then maybe they could come back positive and say, but join us next next month or in just a month, and we're going to show you gameplay and show you just how great this game is going to be. Then I think it would have been so much better. And they still have time, sometime today, to come back out with maybe a little bit more of a of a hey, kind of thing instead of a I don't know.
I
Oh my
think that
gosh,
this
it's
is
so
the rip off
frustrating.
Band-Aid kind of a situation. I don't
Oh
think they
yeah.
can come back with anything at this point. They just have to let
Yeah.
it fester.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
let's bring Pong. Let's bring in Pong.
Hey, I
Pong
gotta say, Boom.
Soul.
I gotta
Yes,
say,
sir.
Boom, real quick. Caitlin put up a post today, and I absolutely loved it. Then she put up there. She goes, "Has anybody checked on Pong Soul? Is he okay? Because he's gonna have a lot to say about this. Pong, I'm ready for it, brother. Bring it
Listen,
on."
first of all, I literally just got back from the appointment. I ran in through a crappy thumbnail to get together
It looks good.
to kind of get this show because I'm also sitting down with Joe from Song of Iron at 12,
Yeah.
so I wanted to get this in, and it was we come back around because he has a lot to talk about it as well. Pong, look, here's the thing. Your most anticipated game, I would say, in the last decade is Starfield. Todd Howard and that team are crafting something that is going to be an incredible experience when we get it. Unfortunately, we're not getting that until the middle of next year, based on the press release. I'm interested to get your opinion, not so much on the delay, because I want you to talk about that as well. But but the way the delay was done, and how it was announced, I thought it was a very half-hearted way to do it. I think that with the monies that Bethesda and Microsoft have at their disposal, a video, a 2-minute, a 3-minute, a 4-minute video of Todd getting out there speaking to the fans, say, hey, listen, we know that you're disappointed, but we need more time because of this, that, and the third, would have certainly, it's not going to make the disappointment go away, but it's going to make the disappointment more understandable, or more, let me just say this, it'll make the announcement more relatable, because a person is speaking to you with someone that has a status quo as high as like a Pete Hines or a Todd Howard, who we incredibly respect. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Well, first of all, great to be here, Boom. I'm dealing with a whole lot this morning, and this just added the cherry on top because we had huge storms roll through our area, and work is out. We got no internet at work. That's why I'm at home today, but I'm dealing with all that. So if I go off camera, just know that that's because I got to deal with work stuff. So I'm dealing with all that too. And then this on top of it, right? This on top of it. Look, to your first point, Boom. I'm not going to, there's no sugarcoating this, number one. Number two, I'm not going to sit here and doom and gloom everything, just like I don't doom and gloom everything with Sony either.
Of course.
Right, because Xbox ain't going nowhere. Okay, Sony ain't going nowhere. This is the golden age of gaming. Gaming industry moves on. Okay, so, but to your first point, as far as how they announced it, yes, they gave us the industry standard delay text tweet.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what they did here. They gave us the industry standard, and I think that, to your point, we know for a fact Phil, the entire team, Greenberg, everybody's out at Bethesda right now. They obviously were discussing this, right?
Yes.
This was obviously what was happening out there, right? I won't say we all, because I thought they were planning world domination out there. Instead, they were obviously dealing with this. And so I think that because they were all out there together, I definitely think that the type of game that Starfield is, and again, Redfall is something separate, but the type of game that Starfield is, and knowing that the fans were all riding on this game, I think because they were all out there, a short video would have been easy to do.
Yeah.
And I think that it would have been something that would have been appropriate considering everything that has happened, because Todd came out last year and all but said that 11/11/22 was in stone, right?
Yeah.
In an interview, he said that it was basically in pen, not pencil, right? So for him to go do that and put himself out there, and then to have this happen, I think it deserved a little bit more than the industry standard. Again,
100%. Yeah.
Is it out of the norm? No. Was it anything that nobody else has done? Again, well, how many yellow notifications do we see from Cyberpunk, to the point where we all had PTSD from any time a tweet is made in yellow?
It's one of your favorite games.
Yes, correct. Correct. So, but to your point, Boom, yes, this could have been handled a little bit different. Now, I think that maybe they'll make a bigger statement at the showcase as they're showing the games off. Maybe there will be a special kind of little, that's only a month away at this point now. Maybe they will have a little bit more to say at that point. But yes, I would have liked to see a little bit more than this, but it is what it is. Okay, Boom. I again, optics wise, it's not good no matter how you dice it. And I don't think a video would have made it any better. So, again, as far as the whole delay goes, of course, I am extremely disappointed. This is the second time I've died on a hill for Starfield. I take the L on this one for all the people out there that were saying that it was going to be delayed. And I said, you all are crazy. Look, not me. I take the L on this one because I said no way.
I'm taking a giant L because I was right there with you.
No way that I thought this was going to happen. Again, when Todd gives a date, I don't think he's ever moved that date. Once they say the date, they have never delayed a game as far as I can remember. So this is a first. I'm not going to hear any of the excuses out there. It is what it is. We are well beyond. We've seen other games be released within their time frames or, similar time frames without this kind of big delay. Now, we don't have a new date yet, so we don't know how far it's been pushed back, right? It could be January. It could be February. Todd likes his dates.
Hell, it could be June.
It could be. Right. It could be June that we don't know yet. Right. And they do need to clarify that. But this is a huge hole now in the Xbox lineup for the second half of this year. Just like we've talked about with Sony filled up the beginning of the year. If God of War Ragnarok hits at the end of this year, which I still believe that will happen, look, then it's not such a big deal. If it doesn't hit, well, then we were expecting Xbox to just absolutely dominate with their lineup. Now,
can I say something to that point real quick?
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to say that a lot of people are going to not like this. First of all, we got almost 450 people here. If you're new and you're finding the channel, this kind of talk, this kind of breaking news talk happens on a regular basis. I run the channel. I'm retired, so when something breaks in a snap, I'm there. Double Barrel Gaming, 4 shows a week. All live, nothing taped. If you're like that kind of content, check out the channel. Throw me a sub, and also if you're here and you're enjoying the conversation, hit the like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. But here, I just want to add to you mentioned God of War Ragnarok, which I'm still I'm dying on this hill. I think it's delayed until 2023. That's my opinion. But I am going to tell you this right now: if I'm Sony, if I'm Jim Ryan, and that team over at Sony Santa Monica, I don't care if I got to work 18-hour days. I'm going to make sure this game launches this year in November. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to drop a press release in the next 6 hours saying that, hey, folks, just want to give you the heads up. God of War confirmed 2022, because I would go for the juggler. I'm just saying, if I'm Sony, that's what I do, because right now Microsoft is going to be has shown their weakness, their weakness for the year, and we're going to get into what the year looks like. And again, could they subsidize these 2 games with like some surprise releases like Wolfenstein and Compulsion's game that might be ready? It's possible, but we're going to get into that. But please continue your point.
Yeah, no problem. Great points too, by the way, Boom, because I would do the exact same thing if I was Sony. If they know God of War is going to be ready, that gets announced like shortly here. Okay,
like the same in the next 6 hours, they should make a monster presentation.
They should. Listen, as far as delay goes, again, I think now that we have seen this industry and where it's gone over the past couple years and how we know dev cycles work, as far as delays go, I think we're all in favor of delays if the game needs it.
100%.
100%. No, I'm not going to sit here and trash them. Like I said, I don't want to hear excuses per se. I just want you to get the game done. I don't want to hear about whatever is causing the issues. Just tell me the game's delayed, give me a brand new date, and move on and get the thing done. Okay, period. I've said before that I think devs at this point now need to add a year to whatever date they have internally, and then surprise us if they get it done sooner, if they're going to even give us a date. right? I'm at the point where I don't even want devs to give us a date, but they're still going to do that because obviously there's internal stuff that they have, and they want marketing, and they want to, obviously hire people and all that stuff. So I get all that fact, right? But the point of fact is that this is a huge loss just from the standpoint of Xbox's lineup come this second half, because we've had nothing for the first half from the first party studios. Again, we've all said on here a million times, Boom, over the years, look, we knew that when they purchased all these studios with the projects that they already had in works, that had contracts, that it was going to take a while for Microsoft first party studios to ramp up. We knew that. Last year turned out to be a very, very healthy second half of the year, and it drove them to some really good numbers during the holiday season, and it started that momentum. We understood that the first half of this year was going to be light, but we were once again all looking forward to the second half of the year from a business standpoint of how it would drive.
Right, and that strategy was used to great success for Microsoft last year, where they were publisher of the year. Correct. Second half of the year saw the release of Psychonauts 2, Forza Horizon 5, Halo. I think Age of Empires was in Age of Empires 4 on PC. Flight Sim was early in the year, but it was closer towards the second half of the year. So you're absolutely right. What this does is put a ridiculous crater-sized hole in anything for Xbox. And you know what? We haven't even talked about. We haven't gotten around to it, but this is going to potentially stagnate growth for Xbox Game Pass, because I know, like I said in the opening, I know a lot of people that that joined Game Pass because Starfield was in there, and now,
Nope. Hey, look, there's again, you're not gonna find sugarcoating with me. It is what it is. From a business side of things, it's a huge loss. Again, Phil knows this. Again, playing armchair CEO day. That's why I'm not in charge of $1 trillion companies, right? But Phil is. Phil's got to know that this is hit, right? They already know. Obviously, that's why they all went out to Bethesda to talk about this, because it really they must have had to have been showing what was going on. And the discussions had to be made. Look, you can release the game, but this is what's going to be there, or we can delay it, and this is how much better it's going to be. And obviously those discussions were internal, and that's something that has to be decided from the higher ups, and that's what happened here. Again, I'm not going to bash the delay per se, because again, I want the best game out of this possible.
I really want, you know what, Pong, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I really want to put, I see that. First of all, I want to thank, we have almost 500 people here. And I'll get to the super chats momentarily. Understand, this isn't me turning on Xbox. I understand the delay. I'm not a boob. If the game isn't ready, you don't want a buggy mess. Perfect example. Look at what happened to Horizon Forbidden West, one of my most anticipated games of the year. I talk about Aloy like she's family, and she's a freaking game character, right? So I have a tremendous affection for Sony Santa Monica and
Guerrilla.
Guerrilla Games. Thank you for the save. Guerrilla Games and that particular franchise. And look what happened. I haven't gone back to it because the bugs are egregious. So do I want to see that for Starfield? Do I want to see that for Redfield? 100% no. So I'm okay with it. I think the disappointing aspect of it is this goes back to potentially a management conversation, because now look what has happened. Microsoft anticipated these two new IPs coming at the end of the year. Motorsport, still no date. Now, could that change next month? Sure, but they're still hiring like crazy over there, so maybe that gets delayed. Just imagine the playing field for Xbox. Your 2022 is going to consist of 2 games releasing for your players in Age of Empires 4, which is rumored to fall the console, and Deathloop. 2 great games on their own, but those are games from last year, Pong.
Yeah.
If that is what your 2022 is, I'm going to be honest with you. That's not good.
From a first party standpoint, it's not. Again, for me as a grazer, this doesn't affect me, but there's people out because I'll play anything and I play everything. So I got plenty to keep me busy, right?
Yeah.
As big as a disappointment as this is, I've got plenty, but there are people out there. There are lots of gamers out there who have very specific games that they want, that they're looking forward to, that they purchase, and they don't necessarily look at all the games available in Game Pass and say, "Oh my God, I got plenty to play. It's no big deal." There's lots of gamers out that like every year. So now, again, maybe we'll talk about it more here. Boom. Maybe you want to get Fuzzy's opinions on this. But I think the big question is now, what do they do? Because I think that Phil does have to open up the bank account.
Yep.
And he is going to have to go secure.
It's funny that you should say that because Insider, hey, Asante has popped in for a hot second. We're going to get his opinion momentarily. Fuzzy, I want to grab your opinion, but I want to read what Clobriel had to say. Now, Clobriel, if you don't know who he is, go subscribe to that man. It's at Clobriel, Klobrile. He doesn't consider himself to be an Xbox insider, but the guy knows his stuff. I respect him. I follow him. He doesn't follow me. I'm devastated, but maybe one day he will. Here is what he has. He's Xbox fan number one, and he delivers the righteous smoke when it's necessary, like our good friend Asante does on a regular basis, and even he has something big to say, and I'm going to read verbatim from his official, which, by the way, he's got a blue check mark, which is dope. He says, Xbox not having any big holiday game right now will make Xbox Game Pass growth difficult. Needs a flagship day one title. I'd prioritize Gotham Knights. WB has shown that they are will to work to do day one with Game Pass, and he mentions Back for Blood. And I think a superhero game is what many want to see on Xbox Game Pass. And I agree 10,000%. But listen, I want to talk about the optics. That's my biggest problem. Microsoft has been doing they've been doing the gaming gods work with keeping Xbox gamers happy for what seems like years now, right? They've been doing it, a couple of bumps in the road. This is a crater. This isn't a pothole. This is a crater. I don't like the way it was announced. I thought it was very half-hearted, and considering that they have been doing so well, I'm very surprised by this. Like Pong said, they were all together. They could have done a video, 2 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever. Let Todd get out there and speak to the fans. And I think that we'd still be disappointed, but we would feel like he was speaking to us and we'd be more understanding. Fuzzy, are you in agreement or not that the way it was announced was kind of a ho-hum?
Yeah, it was kind of like they just sent it, just like email. I don't care. I know they care to some extent, but it's much like what they did with the whole Xbox Live pricing. They kind of put that out there, and then we got pissed off about it, and then they're like, oh, we changed our mind in a blog post, but like no face to kind of put behind what the where all the vitriol goes type of deal. So having Todd Howard say something would have been nice.
Pete Hines or Todd Howard, somebody. Yeah.
It would have softened the blow a little bit, but it still wouldn't have, made up for, these gaps in the ending of the year as far as first party items. So I posted this earlier. Like it took out a lot of my, I guess you could say, excitement for the showcase.
Enthusiasm. Yeah.
If you're going to announce a game a year ago and have a date and it looks like it's in pen and now that date is poof, kind of thing. Anything you show in the showcase is going to be a question mark at this point. Are you real or are you sure about that date? I mean, unless it's a shadow drop, like, hey, you can download it today kind of thing. But which I doubt, like a Wolfenstein 3 or Compulsion's Project Nightmare would be nice, or maybe Project Marv from Ninja Theory. But I don't even think those are even remotely close to being able to be shadow dropped.
The only two that are question marks is Compulsion, on whether their game is ready to go. They've been working on it for many years, from what we understand. And I was going to say Wolfenstein 3.
Yeah.
Those are the only two that could potentially replace first party wise.
Right. But since there doesn't seem like there's any other first party readily available other than, Forza Motorsport, which, yes, I'm still excited for it. There's some rumblings about the next gen, previous gen, cross gen. I just would have hoped that they would have made it next gen, only for the fact that we're stuck with 24 cars for the past 3 motorsports. So it's time to get a larger field. It's time to have more features that require the memory that is not scalable, regardless
that's a
of what other
conversation
people
we're going to
say.
have at some point. They need to leave last gen behind. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, have it where they could play it on the cloud, much like Flight Sim. I mean, petabytes of stuff. I'm not saying that motorsport needs petabytes of stuff, but it's come on. It's time to kind of move on, at least offer that option. But all things aside, I joke about it. I posted earlier, Phil and Sarah need to be on their phones calling every third party studio, developer, whatnot, making deals with that blank checkbook, just cutting some deals, because otherwise, like you said, it's going to be a hard fought battle as far as increasing or improving, Game Pass sub numbers.
Yep.
And me personally, at this point, it's like, I could let it expire. I could do like we used to do with old Netflix or AMC or any of those other, streaming services.
When the
where
hot
it's like,
newness comes, you resubscribe. Yep.
exactly. So a good thing I didn't turn in all my ones that I earned from free Microsoft points. Kind of hold on to those, and then I guess there was a good reason I did that. But no, I think at this point, the fact that it's like no face, not that they don't have to, but it would have been nice to at least have somebody, make it a more heartful apology type of thing. But hey, the games will be better for it in the delay, but they better have something to fill the gaps, whether it's third party or first party. If it's first party, hopefully there's 2 other ones that can slide into place. If it's third party, let's be greedy and ask for 3 instead of just 2 to fill the spots. But that's just
I put it this way: the Brinks trucks are getting filled with wads of cash right now as we speak. Kay Asante, you and I were talking on the way when I was coming back to the house to set this up. You were as stunned as I was.
Yeah,
and
indeed.
you are going to deliver the righteous smoke that you're known to do. We talked about how this was delivered and how this was a disappointment. Now, on the back end of the conversation, we're going to all discuss how now Microsoft is limping into their show on the 12th. This news coming weeks before their show. Again, optics, folks, bad optics. I'm not saying the show is going to be terrible. I'm expecting them to be bells and whistles all over the place and that we're going to be blown away. But now they are limping into that because everyone was expecting this big blowout for Starfield, and I don't know if we're going to get it. We don't know what we're going to get. But what are your thoughts on this case, Ante?
So yeah, I think I agree with everybody on the panel, and welcome, hello everybody. Yes, I agree with everybody on the panel because basically, I feel like this is very interesting the way this was announced. First and foremost, it's surprising. We're all surprised. As gamers in general, we're disappointed. It is what it is, right? But we don't want the game to come out and be cyberpunk type situation, of course. So delay the game, right? I'm with everybody on that as well. If it needs to be delayed, go ahead and delay it, right? But they know how long of a tail they have until they have to make that decision. Right. So that decision was made some time ago. It's just how are we going to tell the public is what I suspect that's where the latest conversation where you saw them all together was about. Hey, how does it look like? Can we get away with it? No, we can't. Okay, how are we telling the public that this is being delayed, right? I find it's disappointing. No doubt, right? And usually you have PlayStation that does not offer, they usually don't release huge games at the end of the year. They usually leave their big games at the beginning of the year. Hopefully most of us are wrong and God of War comes out this year. Otherwise, it's dry season on the console side, by and large, first party wise anyway, right? Which is disappointing to say the least, right? What I will say though is, and go here with me, and folks have already alluded to it on the show already. Wouldn't it have been a better announcement to not say anything, get to our what do you call it, the showcase, do a huge blowout of Starfield like we knew they were going to. Do a huge blowout, show you all the details of Redfall, all these amazing details, and then at the tail end of it say, hey, in an effort to tighten this game up, make these games better than they are right now, we're delaying them to 2023 first half. I suspect they would have garnered a lot better attention, and people would have received it a lot better, right? And that's not rocket science. I think they know this.
That's kind of marketing 101, to be honest with you.
So because they know this and they didn't do that, tells me they have something else in store. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I feel like what they're
something with that,
and we're not going to, people are going to be like, oh, well, now there might be this, people putting out false hope. It's not about the false hope, right? You have bad news to deliver, and you have a huge conference to deliver it with. You could have done the easy thing, which is blow everyone away with whiz-bang features, and then at the end, the tail end, which PlayStation and other teams have done it on many occasions, at the tail end, instead of expecting to see that date, you see first half 2023. We'll just show up on the screen, and everybody goes, but at least you saw the great footage, right?
Yeah,
that could have happened.
But you see, like we were saying before, the reason why that works, Kay, is because
you've already seen the footage.
We've seen with our own eyes.
That's
what
right.
The best presentation of the game.
Exactly. You have better buy-in.
And you can turn around and equate that to, wait a second.
Yep.
That footage was incredible. You're saying you want to do better than that? Okay, not a problem. I'm upset about the delay, but based on what I saw, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. Had they done that, they would have threaded that needle, and the public perception would have been, oh, it's all good. Yeah, yes, it's delayed, but look what they have to offer. It's an ambitious game. They could have had that narrative followed with them, which is what they want.
Yeah.
Instead, they chose to rip the Band-Aid off as egregiously and as simplistically as possible in any given Thursday. Zip, it's gone. Like, I find that a little suspect. How do you do that when you've already announced that you have a show coming up very soon? So that tells me that they got something for the show to counteract the crater they just built.
You know what? I love
either that, or somebody needs to get fired, because this will be just the most doubly smacking of yourself in the face in public move I've ever seen in my entire existence.
Well,
come on now, these guys are really good at this, and this is not Microsoft we're talking about here, right? People have notoriously said Microsoft is always bad at the marketing, this and that. No, this is
Bethesda.
They are kings of the marketing.
Correct.
They know how to sell their product. They know they've known how to market their games. They set that standard of that. Hey, we showed this off to you 6 months. Boom, it's out, and we'll hit you with the blitz of all the marketing and all of that, and then boom, it's out, so you can play it. Right? They are very good at that, and the fact that they're doing it this way tells me there's something going on that we just don't know of yet. And I feel like they're taking their public on a ride. I hope their strategy works out for them. So far, I'm just looking at them with the side eye, like, y'all. I hope y'all know what you're doing, because this is some dangerous waters we're swimming in right now. So we shall see it. After the show, we will have a full accounting of the picture, and at that point, if some serious smoke needs to be delivered, we are there for it. The pitchforks will be sharpened. We'll be there.
Well, I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I love to give Microsoft the benefit of the doubt. I do it on a regular basis. But again, I would be remiss if I didn't say that people that respect the brand that I have built with my wife, if we didn't come out here and give you our honest opinions about situations like this, then why would you sub me? Why would you tune in for me? I'm not painting a picture of unicorns and rainbows right now for Microsoft, because quite frankly, it's dark. I don't like what I'm seeing, and as a fan of the work, I'm disappointed. Like I said, I'm not complaining about the delay. Me complaining about the delay is, I understand the delay. The way things led up to the delay is where I have a problem. Now, I want to kind of just scroll back. The super chats are ridiculous. I have about 20 of them. I promise I'm going to try and get to every one of them. We have limited time, and I have a show starting at 12. I have literally 43 minutes, because I have Joe, who worked for 343 Industries, as well as the creator of Song of Iron, to sit down to a one-on-one. We're going to be talking about this more. I'm going to try and get to the super chats. I want to thank you for the the generosity is ridiculous, but everyone here is limited for time. And I'm going to start first with Pong. Pong, I want to kind of focus on what I said earlier. Does this potentially have Microsoft and Bethesda limping into the showcase, which is only a couple of weeks away?
Yeah. It obviously steals a lot of the shine, right? It will. This type of delay with this type,
and not just one game,
right?
It's two.
Right. And I was just going to say, if it was just Redfall, right, but we were still getting Starfield, right? Okay, cool, right? That's cool. If it was just Starfield being delayed and we're getting Redfall, yeah, it would still steal some shine, but we still have look forward to Redfall. Blah, blah. But have two of the major players this year at the second that we were all expecting for the second half of this year gone, erased from that release schedule. With as of right now, because again, Motorsport we have all assumed is coming out this year, but there's still no guarantee that that's there. Those two, what we thought were pretty locked in games coming out at the end of this year not being there, it's kind of like, okay, so is this showcase just going to show us everything that we're going to see 2023 and forward, and we don't really have anything for 2022 outside of some smaller third-party titles that we are aware of, like Warhammer 40K, Darktide, Stalker may not even be showing up this year. So we're coming into this showcase with a lot of questions. To Kay Asante's point, and Kay Asante brought in some great points. They still have time now. They've got the next 30 days to really do something for that showcase. And yes, the Starfield footage they could still do a blowout. Now, I'm not expecting that blowout at this showcase. I'm expecting more of like maybe a story trailer at this showcase, because again, this is not Bethesda and Todd's MO to showcase something that isn't coming out very soon. They could still do it, and if they do it and it looks spectacular, and they come out and Todd says, look, we know we are all disappointed, but this is what we've got working, and we just want to make this the best experience possible, and I hope you all agree this is looking like a mind-blowing game to you, then yeah, we will kind of all come out of that showcase hyped again and just be looking forward till February or whenever they announce that this game's going to be launched. Right. So that could bring that shine back. But yes, they are limping right now into the showcase, because the simple fact is there's no spit shining this news whatsoever. There's not. Again, it will be
this took all the air out of the room, brother.
It will be up to the June 12th date now to refill that air up again, right? To get that momentum, to get that hype again. And they've got some work cut out for them. There's no question about that. Again,
and
no
Paul,
go ahead,
what do you think about that? The fact that they could have chosen to drop this news like sneaky after they whiz banged you at the June show, and they didn't. Isn't that a very suspicious move? This is the worst possible way to announce this. It's almost like they did it on purpose. It's weird. I don't get it.
It is weird, but I guess, KSI, it's also weird that they've been doing these little viaducts.
Kay and I were talking about that.
Yes. Filling everybody's head with hype for no reason.
Right. Again, this is not so, unless something happened like in the past few weeks that all of a sudden they came to the realization, okay, look, we're going to have to delay this. Hence why the meeting out at Bethesda, hence why all the big wigs flew out there to talk with them. That's the only thing I can think of, because this is not within normal Bethesda's usual lineup
their
of how they do things,
sure.
right? Their MO, their marketing is so on point all the time. For them to have been developing these viaducts and all this kind of stuff and releasing them as if this was on regular schedule, that we were all on point, 11/11/22 is coming. This is very strange, Asante. It's very odd. And again, like you said, to have this announcement come out, like I said, something may have come up over the past. Again, we'll never know. None of this stuff is ever going to be discussed with us. I wish there was somebody that was doing a book at each one of these studios, or a small movie and how these games are made leading up, so that we could see this behind the scenes, kind of like Hard Knocks with the NFL, right? If we could get those kind of documentaries that show us what happened, because it's so interesting. that this doesn't make any sense. So again, there is no question about it, Boom. It is definitely taken some shine off of that showcase. It is definitely a hit that I'm sure none of them were planning for, but the showcase still has the potential. But they're going to have to do a lot of work, and they're going to have to come up with something big. But the showcase still has a lot of potential to.
But you know what? You know why, Pong, this is magnified. And I'm going to bring KS on the end because he's also here on limited time. They are coming off of a show, meaning last year's, that was a 10 out of 10. You can't say, I don't care if you're a hater of Xbox or a lover. Anyone that walked away from that show didn't think it was a 10, I don't know what you were asking for. I walked away, it was a 10. So now just let me paint this picture for you for Xbox, big wigs, fill-in team. You are coming off of a 10. So people are expecting an 11. And they're expecting an 11, and now you have to limp in with two of your biggest new IPs being delayed until the first half of 2023. Very, very big shoes to fill. Very, very high totem pole to climb. Kay, what are your thoughts on this? Are they limping into this show?
See, so that is the perception, and obviously perception is reality. You've let your consumers think that you dropped the ball. Hey, sorry, both of the only two games you were expecting that were coming aren't coming anymore. Oh, by the way, we have a show coming up soon. Bye-bye. That's all they've told you right now. Doesn't that seem a little suspect? Like it seems a little suspect, right?
I like what you're putting down. I'm going to be honest with you.
And Kay, let me point this out too. In that release from Bethesda too, right? They didn't say we can't wait to show you come June 12th. They said can't wait to show you soon. So could the whole showcase have been blown up by this delay? Right?
Interesting.
I'm just throwing it out there because it's weird that they didn't say can't wait to show you on June 12th though what we've been working on.
Let me try very hard, and this is not my nature, but let me try very hard to spin this a little bit. See, if I want to be on the other side, here we go. I'm going to try and be the devil's advocate. I'm the one in the room that goes, no, this is a good thing. Let's see how this works. Okay, so they have two major games two of the major games that we knew that was available. All the other games, there's a few on the periphery which came and went, right? My big game, my heart was broken a long time ago, and that was Atomic Heart because hey, the world sucks. But that's neither here nor there, right? So Stalker 2, there's a bunch of periphery games that are still in the conversation, but not the main show. Scorn, Yeah. So they go, okay, we have this horrible announcement to make. We have multiple choices on how to drop that news to the people. We can kind of drip feed them. We can kind of, do what some competitors do and give them the whiz bang show and then maybe put it in the small teeny tiny print at the bottom at the end of the show. We have many choices, right? Instead, we'll rip it off like a Band-Aid, like, hey, here you go, right? Does this not then mean that they have to win you back? Meaning this show is going to be the show where every unrealistic expectation will be thought of because, damn it, we are behind the 8 ball.
Yep.
Does this not mean that? Does this not mean they'll walk into the show going, okay, we're sorry. Here's the damn capture capabilities for the Xbox. Why? Because we know you've been wanting it. Please don't get mad.
That's going to blow us away, KSI.
They are trying whatever they can because what's important they don't have, which is what? The games. They don't have the games. So maybe this means, hey, open the wallet. How many teams do we have? 23 right now. Somebody give me something to show. I don't care if it's 15 years away. Show me something.
well,
we know they've got that.
Which is what happened at the E3 of Dreams. Remember that same thing happened then. They showed you things that was like 7 years away, but you came out of that E3 like jazzed, right? Even though realistically they didn't show you anything you could play in the next 2 to 3 years. But hey, it was an awesome show. I'm saying because they're handicapping themselves so severely before the game even starts, does that mean they throw out all the stops and try and win people back? it's not working. My own argument isn't working for me, but I tried.
I was gonna say no.
I
No,
tried.
look,
No.
there's no sugarcoating that this is egg on the face. That this
True.
is bad optics. Like I said, I think this could have been done in such a better, in such a more professional, profound way that we could have been told this by Todd himself. They had all the people. Pong said it. Everyone was there. They could have got a film crew. You're a $2.5 trillion company. You can afford to get a film crew in there. Sit down with Todd. Break down the news. Just same way Corey Barlog did a couple of weeks ago. Hey, listen, folks. We know that you want to know about God of War, but we're not ready to show. But I promise you, when we're ready, you're going to be blown away. That's how it should have been done. This was, as I called it, very half-hearted, and I don't like that.
Real quick, Boom. The latest super chat that just came out. If that is actually what happens, that would be a monster. Like that would be end of days. If that happened right now,
totally disagree with that chat.
J Rock chilling with the $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Saying, I bet the Bethesda game showcase gets canceled now. Imagine if that would happen now. Holy smokes!
No way.
There's no way that's going to happen, but
fire and brimstone.
It would be ridiculous. Let's bring in. First of all, I want to welcome in Zemi Games, who I'm happy is here. He's also probably crying in the corner, devastated. Let's bring in Web Dave because, like I said, I'm on borrowed time because I don't want to.
And gentlemen, you know what? I will take my leave of you folks because
okay, brother. Thank you so much for jumping in.
I will.
It was awesome.
Have a good one. Awesome talking to you, Pong. Don't worry. Hug each other. We'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Big hugs.
We'll
big
be
hugs.
all right.
Dave, let's get
the
your
God Howard
this,
will provide. Don't worry.
He will. Amen.
Boom.
Amen.
Boom. If you don't mind, I'm actually gonna acquiesce my time because I know you're short on time. So I'd rather we hear from Zimmy or some of all these amazing super chats because there's a lot of there. Whatever you want to do, but I'll give up my time so that somebody else can jump in. Like I said, I know you're on limited time, and I don't want to.
No. We can take 5 minutes of your time. Give us your honest opinion. Are they limping into the June 12th show, Dave?
I don't think so. I think.
And why is that? Why?
Because
do you feel...
of the Band-Aid you talked about, like they're ripping it off, they're throwing this out there, and I really think that they did this. Asante was really right on because they either have something really big planned or it's like after we see the footage that they show for these two games they were like, oh man, it's going to be worth the wait. I really think that's what's going to, maybe thinking, oh, he's being too optimistic. No, I really think that the reason that they're going to be able to give these, more time to breathe, which I'm all for, is because the showcase is going to be incredibly memorable. I really do. And of course, there is some people in the chat that are like, I bet the showcase gets canceled or gets. It is not going to happen. There is no way in hell that Microsoft is going to. Phil Spencer will be out there on his smartphone, holding it up, doing selfie, talking about stuff, showing over his shoulder gameplay. If that's what it takes to get a showcase done, it is not going to happen. They are definitely going to be on with the show, and I think that my expectations now for the showcase are actually ramped up because of this.
Okay.
I think that they're really going to be because they want to make sure it's like, okay, we've got them on a low now. We pulled out the Band-Aid, let them know it's going to be next year. And then it's like, and then bam, they're going to just smack us in the face with some goodness. That's my opinion. That's what I think.
I like what you're putting down, and I'm excited for this showcase with or without this news. But it definitely does bring it down a bit for me because I think that with Asante actually might be onto something here where they got this bad news out a couple of weeks before the show because they have news that is going to completely rival it, and that would be great. That would be great for Xbox gamers, but still, Pong disappointed with like I said, I couldn't have gotten over Redfall. I have no real connection to that. It's a new IP. But we've been hearing about Starfield for years, and this year specifically, they keep doing these dev docs. It's getting you excited because the game's around the corner, and now we know that it's not. Fuzzy, let's get your opinion on it, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Are Microsoft and Bethesda potentially limping into the June show?
Yes, but I right now it's I would say the biggest thing now is they're probably, although in the past they haven't been good with a backup plan or a plan B
Right.
when stuff gets delayed or slotting other things in place. But I think they're limping, and it'll be a full on hobble at this point if the only real big things that they are releasing this year from a first party standpoint without any other, yeah, at least from let's just focus more so on Game Pass as opposed to Xbox as a whole. But from a Game Pass standpoint, if the only releases that they do from that show moving forward this year winds up being Deathloop, and Age of Empires, and let's say Forza Motorsport, it's going to feel a little underwhelming in comparison. Not just because the two big hitters or at least one of the big hitters has been delayed, but it just goes from what should have been a pretty packed second half of the year to less than packed second half of the year. But they stand a chance at wowing us with stuff. But I at this point I'm kind of just expectations or reduced in anything with a date moving forward at this point. Yes, COVID's still a thing. Unfortunately, it's still not just affecting people's daily lives, but it's still affecting our hobbies that we enjoy. But on the grand scheme of things, I think they're going to have to pull out all the stops, whether it means that they're grabbing Saints Row and Gotham Knights, and I can't even think of anything else because I know
they have
Fuzzy?
to go out and spend some big bucks, folks.
Yeah.
That is the sad reality. They're going to have to drop some serious cash. And I like those two picks. I think Gotham Knights is the easy one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is. Hey, listen, I'm not saying exclusive. A lot of people are like, oh, they should make it exclusive. They're not going to. It's too late for that. Yep. They can Game Pass day and date, and that in a sense is the exclusivity.
That's a win
because it's on Game Pass. Saints Row is a big one. That's also another one that should be dropped into Xbox Game Pass day and date.
Now, Jedi Fallen Order, the part 2, it's for 2022. That would be a
2023.
Oh, it's 2023.
EA kind of released their roadmap.
Okay. But yeah, at least those two big, third party AAA games, they need to do a day and date deal, and any other things that may be unknown but still coming out this year, like Need for Speed. If there's a new Need for Speed that comes out later this year, that needs to be another one that goes in there.
Yeah.
But that's all I got. It is a limp at this point.
They need to. I mean, this is a tale of two. This is a tale of two conversations. Yeah. One, they need to make it right with Xbox gamers. That's a fact. That's first and foremost. I'm sorry. I'm not an entitled gamer at all, but you got to make it right. This is bad news. You got to fix it. But the business side of the conversation is you're trying to grow your business, and first party is supposed to lead the way. Well, that's failed. You failed. You failed to do that this year. And I hear you. The way you fix that is you money hat the same way Sony's been doing it for years. You go out there and you drop the bucks and you get those games in the Game Pass, and people will then still be like, well, okay, Microsoft's first party X game that I wanted isn't here, but wow, Gotham Knights is, wow, Saints Row is, wow, X, Y, and Z is. That is how you fix the business aspect of it. You get games, third party, big title IPs to drop in Game Pass, and even though they're still multi-plat, people are going to still consider staying subscribed or potentially joining Xbox Game Pass because they know that next year is going to be a big year for Xbox. But again, still, man, egg on the face. Zemi Games, yes. I do want to get you in on here, but let me catch up with some of these super chats, and then I'm going to literally leave here, run. Well, not really running anywhere. I'm sitting in front of my computer, and then I'm going to start the show with Joe. But please, everyone, the 600 people that are here, come on over, because me and Joe, who obviously is a former 343 developer, we're going to be talking about this. I want to get his opinion on how heartbreaking it is for a developer to have to delay a game. And then we're going to talk, about, Starfield some more. First one of the day comes to us from Louis Augustus. It's $2. It's unfortunate to say, but 2022 is lost. What a pain. Kingfish 737, who's been a member for 4 months, says, always love the awesome shows, Boom. I'm not going to lie, I'm disappointed about the news. However, in a way, gamers do wish to have a polished game. Indeed. Nightwolf 3186 drops a $5 super chat and says, hey, Boom, been a while. Good to see you. Yes, good to see you as well, my brother. I'm glad you're doing well. He says, I'm in my fields like Pong. I'm sure is. My question is, what does Microsoft do to fill the void? Indeed, he drops another $5 super chat, Nightwolf, and says, did they get pressure to push it back from the articles and the noise that was surfacing these past weeks? Maybe they just want to their first flawless game. I agree. Let's see. Yaba Farva drops a very generous $10 super chat and says, good morning, Boom, panel and chat. The sad truth is, as much as we like him, Phil Spencer got caught with his pants down again, 2 years in a row. The anonymity of these studios are getting must end. I agree. Danny Passion Official drops a $5 super chat and says, I remember saying that this would happen. I took fire from you guys, especially my brother Boom. Sad news, but this is what I love you, Boom. Hey, listen, Danny. First of all, thank you for super chat. Thank you for the kind words. And if I give you, I put the big L, brother, right here for Boom, and I'll take it, no problem. I thought it was a done deal. Todd has never missed a date, and this is unprecedented. Let's just say that. Drawn TJ drops a very generous $20 super chat and says, morning, guys. Yeah, it sucks that that game got delayed, but think of it like this can you guys can wrap your mind around. It's coming out next year, and that's what Starfield and Redfall. Yeah, it's still disappointing to me, brother. It's definitely a stake to the heart. No pun intended with Redfall and its vampires. Yaba Farva. Your baby father. That's your baby Farva. I think that's how you say it. Why put out those development mini diaries knowing their progress? You see, he's right. Can't believe Bethesda Damage Control Starfield is going to be November 23. Oh God, can you imagine if it's that long? That's going to be disastrous. Drawn TJ drops several super chats of $5. He says, I think that they prematurely announced Starfield date, no gameplay. I wasn't surprised. And watch, they are going to get Test Drive Unlimited, Solar Crown, and Gotham Knights in Game Pass. They need that. Danny Passion Official drops an additional $2 super chat and says, I finished Doom Eternal yesterday, and it was fire. This yesterday, and is fire. This delay is thumbs up. Yeah, I mean, I guess some people are going to look at it from the glass half full. Anthony Kowalski drops a very generous $5 super chat, and Sir X-Man drops a $2 super chat and says, if my backlog wasn't so huge, I would be mad. Louis Augustus drops a $2 super chat and says, Star failed. All that marketing, and for what? Drawn TJ drops an additional $2 super chat and says, there are going to be many games next year. I think they're going to have too many games, to be honest with you. And I think we're going to get games delayed because of that. Andrew Cullian drops a $10 super chat and says, I don't know how it was told to us. If Todd Howard was tattooing Starfield delayed on my forehead, I would be pissed. BarQ Andy drops a $5 super chat and says, I'm as bummed as anyone. Got my hopes up for the full release. I hope that they use the time well and move past this L quick. Love you, Boom. Great guest and chat. Love you too, brother. Thank you so much for the super chat and, of course, those kind words. Mr. Too Opinionated drops a $5 super chat and says, if Phil and the team can't be consistent, then Phil's rule, no third-party exclusives like Tomb Raider, needs to be trashed. Sony ain't doing it with Square Enix. The third-party exclusive deals, maybe. They have so many games, so I don't know. It's just, man, it's just such a conundrum. Spider-Man drops a $5 super chat and says, I think MS delayed these games So at the show, the whole thing will be nothing but positive and exciting. An exciting event. Delay the game on Twitter, not a big deal. Yeah, dude, I disagree. I think this was poor. This was poor marketing. This was poor community awareness. You to me, you just don't do this. Sir X-Men drops a $5 super chat and says, "If I was was the agent for Hello Games, well, you don't have Starfield. Come and play No Man's Sky with us and have an epic time." I mean, you could do that. That would probably be. It's funny. It's funny, but I wouldn't do that. Danny Passion Official says Elden Ring coming to Game Pass. That's a fact. You saw that on that round table that Larry Herb did. They had the statue and the special edition helmet. Why would you have that on an Xbox show unless that's coming? They were giving it away, but still, that's still coming to Game Pass. Dead Planet drops a $2 super chat and says, "Other factor. Where does this push everything else?" That's a great point. We're going to have to come back to that conversation. J Rock Chillin drops a $5 super chat and says, "I beat Bethesda Game Showcase." Oh, he says, I bet Bethesda. Yeah, that's what, what's the name, Randy? I hope not, dude. That would be devastating. Random Name drops a $5 super chat, doesn't say anything. And last but not least, a $5 super chat comes in from LeBurn98. "The delay sucks, but sadly, it isn't unexpected. Over 10 titles have been delayed in recent years, including Halo, God of War, Deathloop, Horizon, GT7, etc." Yeah, you're right. Semi Games, let's get your opinion, and we'll get everyone out of here so I can head over to the show. You obviously are devastated like Pong. You had very high hopes. You are on the same God Howard train as Pong Soul. You hold that Todd to a very high standard. I don't know what else to say other than the disappointment factor is huge. I don't know how they overcome this. Again, I feel like they are limping into the show because this is bad news. And again, it's not just one game; it's 2 games from Bethesda, who was looking to carry Microsoft Game Studios this year because a lot of their other titles have been pushed into 2023, maybe even further than that. What were your initial takes? Because Kay Asante was like, "This is fake. Someone hacked their account. This can't be real." And,
I didn't think it was real either. I thought that it was a sure bet that we were going to get Starfield this year. Redfall, that wouldn't have shocked me either way of if it got delayed or if it didn't. But Starfield was really, really shocking to me. And I think something that really added to that was, like you and other panelists have said, the like little mini documentaries that they were pumping out definitely added to the idea that we were going to get this game this year. And it definitely makes it just hit even harder whenever they came out and basically delayed the game. It's very, very, very disappointing. I would likely be in tears if Hogwarts Legacy wasn't coming out this year, and fingers crossed that it does, because we live in a crazy world, don't we? But I will say that I think that the way that they handled this on a grand scope is probably better than the alternative, right? I think it was a better decision to give this news before their showcase in June rather than during it or after it. This way people get the bad news, they get upset, they get their feelings out about it, and then they go into the showcase and see all that Xbox has to show, right? With that being said, that means that the showcase will hopefully better be good, right? Like, it needs to be a really, really good showing. And regardless of Starfield and Redfall being delayed, I definitely think that we will see gameplay of both of those games. And hopefully the gameplay is going to look really, really good and kind of make people hopefully, somewhat forget about it not coming out this year. Delaying it until the first part of 2023, I'm okay with that personally. At least it's not a year delay like what we saw with Halo Infinite, right? At least we're going to get this, between January to June of next year rather than, holiday season of next year.
That's a positive spin. I like that.
That is a positive spin.
Yeah, no, I like what you're putting down, and you know what? To give more positive spin, Thanaros, good friend of the program, dropped a $5 super chat, and he says, "Folks, KO the Kangaroo is still coming out this year. Everything is fine." You know what? You're right, Thanaros. You're absolutely
Bug
right.
Snacks just released. Everyone should just be
I was
talking
just
about
gonna
that.
say,
Why are
I
we
was
even
just
talking
gonna
about
say.
this?
Why are we
Yep.
talking about
Bug
Starfield
Snacks.
when
We're
Game
still gonna
of
be
the
playing
Century
that
has
long
come out?
after Starfield comes out, right? Bug Snacks is around forever.
You are absolutely right, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the special edition. It was expected to be only an hour. It's 90 minutes. If you are new, and I want to say this, please consider subscribing to the channel. We are marching towards 12K. We got 10K early in the year. I would love to finish off on 12, and we are 1,300, just a little over 1,300 subs away. If you're enjoying the conversation, and to be honest with you, again, there's going to be some people in here that are going to be disappointed with me. That I brought as Kay says, the righteous smoke to Xbox, and I'm happy to do it because I have to be truthful with the people that support this channel. I'm not going to make excuses for the near $3 trillion company because they don't make excuses for me when I mess up. This is a bad look. I am expecting a grand show, but I think it puts a ridiculous amount of pressure on Phil Spencer and that entire team to deliver a show that we're all expecting to be an 11 out of 10. Last year's was 10 out of 10. This is Bando Fox asks drops $5 super chat and says Fable. Yeah, they better show some Fable. They better show some Avowed. They better show some Hellblade. I want to see it all, and I don't want to take. Well, we pulled a couple for other shows. You know what? F everyone else. How about that? Let's just, your Xbox Bethesda show is your showcase. You know what? I love Jeff Keighley. I love what he does. But you know what? You don't save the best ones for his show. You drop it on your show. And that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting big announcements, surprising announcements, gameplay. Show us what 2023 is going to look like. They need to pivot and recover from what it's just straight up a fumble, in my opinion, with these delays. And you need to make it right with your fans. And you also, if you want to grow your business, and I don't have a business degree, folks, I'm a boob, I can tell you that you need to go out and spend the money and get some big name third-party deals, not exclusive, but Game Pass day and date. And I don't care how much you got to spend. You got to make it right with the peoples. But that is your show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be starting in 10 minutes. Another show. It is this week's X Vlog Live. Again, former 343 developer, as well as the creator of the indie darling and hit Song of Iron, is going to be joining me one-on-one. Obviously, this is going to be the big topic of conversation, but I am going to be asking some big questions from a developer's point of view. I want to get his opinion on how this makes the actual developers feel. Like when you have to make a big game like a Halo or like a Starfield get delayed, how that dejecting is that to the team? And we're going to find that out because he's going to answer those big questions. Let's get to this the outro. Start first with Dave, who's always here. Dave, thank you so much for being here, brother. Sell your brand. Tell them about your incredible one-on-ones. And you got a big one, a pretty big one coming up.
I do. Thank you so much for having me on. It is absolutely a privilege to be here with these amazing panelists. I mean, Pong Soul, Zimmy Games, Fuzzy Belvedere, and Kay Asante. Oh my gosh, you guys are all absolutely amazing. I love hearing from every single one of you guys, and over 550 people in the chat. I mean, that's great.
We had close to 600 people, dude. It's crazy.
Fantastic.
It's bonkers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is great. The only thing I'll say about me is that, excuse me, tomorrow we have Breakfast with Boom. And so get ready for some conversations tomorrow. And I'll tell you all about me tomorrow when you tune in to Breakfast with Boom. Next.
Yes. No, brother. Listen, honestly, I want you to sell your brand. Tell them about your website. Tell them about the interviews that you're doing. I don't know if you could talk about the one that I know about, but you should sell that one because that's a big one. Talk about it, brother.
It is a big one. Outbreakpodcast.com. That's my website, or Outbreak Podcast here on YouTube.
Yep.
Boom has have the links in the description below as soon as the episode's over. So thank you for that. I've got Dealer Games has been on. We've had or Dealer from Dealer Games, Randall Thor 19, Pong So, Fuzzy Belvedere, Zemi Games, and Mr. That's right, BoomStick himself has been on my show, and they are all incredible interviews, every single one of them. I do have I just recorded one last night that was fantastic with Ash and Luca. She is incredible, and boy, that is a fire up show right there. And
she's great. I love Luca. She tells it like it is. She wears her
does.
opinions on her sleeve, and she's not afraid to ruffle the feathers. Yep.
Exactly. And one I'll be recording a little later, and we had to move it back a couple of days because, of course, he's high in demand. But I will be interviewing Colt Eastwood this
dude,
week, and we'll appear up in a few weeks. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one, and it keeps growing. And I've got more people that are finally starting to reach back to me. So all I can say is hold on to your hats, folks. They keep getting bigger, and we even have a few corporate people in the works too. So there we go.
Nice, brother. Good work. Fuzzy Belvedere, sell your brand, brother. Tell them about where they can check out your YouTube channel and reach out to you on social media.
Just want to thank everybody for having me on today and being here with you awesome guys and everybody in the chat. Sad day news, but you know, there are other games to play, and I guess we'll have to make two, but man, it hurts. Yeah. But for anybody that just wants to hear my rambling on anything racing related or any games in general, just follow me on Twitter at Fuzzy_Belvedere. Watch my replays and videos on YouTube at Fuzzy_Belvedere. You can also catch me on the Breakfast with Boom this Friday morning at 10 a.m. with the panel. Saturday shop podcast with PTK Blam and Pong, and on Mondays FSP with Fun Speculation on his channel with a great group from the Fun Speculation family. Man, this is awesome, but bad day, but we'll get through it.
Well, we're going to get into it tomorrow. We're going to talk about what happens next. I have to rewrite the whole show. Those show notes will be delivered this afternoon. But thank you for being here. Pong Soul, sell your brand, brother. You and Steel. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Living split screen, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this Saturday morning. I can only imagine what Steel Rain is going to bring.
One of them we've
heard some of what Pong had to say, but sell your brand, brother. Tell everyone to check out that show, and more importantly, find you on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll make this short because you're short on time, Boom. So again, everybody, thank you for being here. Again, not all news is always bright and sunny in Speculation Town, even though Speculation Town itself is, but we're still going to call it like it is, and this is one of those days. Again, as a gamer, I'm fine. I've got plenty of games to play. It's disappointing. It's my most look forward to game, but we're checking this out from the business side of perspective of things, and we got to call it like it is. It's a huge blow. So thank you all for being here and listening to us. Great discussions in the chat. Love and respect to all of you. Boom. Thank you for putting this together on short notice, brother. As always, glad I could make it today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here.
Hey, my days started off crazy as it was already, so why not add to it, right? But brothers, obviously Outbreak, Dave, it's just fantastic to hear you always, sir, and love what you're doing over there. Keep doing what you're doing. Fuzzy, you know what it is, brother. You and I are on so many shows together now. It's crazy. Thanks for being here as well. It was awesome to have Kay Asante drop in here, and Zemi, always great to hear your voice as well, sir. This was a great show, but it's still the golden age of gaming, people.
It is.
It really is. There's so much to play. Life's going to go on. 2023 is just looking utterly ridiculous now at this point, but we'll get there. But we got a lot more to talk about. It starts tonight, PM in the PM. Pong and Mav in the PM over on Fun Speculations channel. You know, Mav and I are going to be talking about this, so join us. It's going to be fun, but we are going to get down to it because there is no sugarcoating this in any way, shape, or form. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. Xbox Ultimate tomorrow night. Fun Speculations channel, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Again, be there. There's going to be big opinions as there as well. Then Saturday morning, living split screen, all one word. That's right, 4+ hours this week is going to be extra spicy because the community is getting spicy. So Steele and I will definitely have a lot to say about this and about everything else going on because there's been some other big news this week, actually. So join us 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. Get your morning started right. Saturday night, the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel. Fuzzy, myself, be there. 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Look, Again, golden age of gaming is here. People, play what you love what you play. I'll talk to y'all real soon. Everything's gonna be fine. I'm very disappointed. I'm very sad.
Walk away from
Everything's
the
gonna be
edge,
fine.
folks. Walk
But
away
everything's
from
going to
the
be
edge.
fine. But we are going to talk about
need
the
a
business
hug.
side of things too.
We do.
Thank
We
you
do.
all.
And we're going to get into that on Friday morning's show tomorrow of what they need to do to rectify it with fans and what I'm going to look at. I'm going to pull. There's a lot of work to do after this. After these two shows, I have to do some homework to find out what big games they could bring to the Game Pass to, solidify, whatever. I'll get to that momentarily. But let that Pong. Thanks so much for being here. Zemi Games, sell your brand, brother. Tell them about your video. We have a game developer here, folks. Back to school, $5 right now on Xbox Live and Steam. Get over there and check it out. Zemi, sell your brand, brother.
You just did it, man. You just did it. No, I have a game. It just came out in
It's
May.
actually
I think.
super cool, man.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like a dummy because you're maybe not as smart as you think that you are.
It does. Yeah. So the game's called Back to School. It's an educational trivia game where the player's answering very challenging elementary school questions with the goal of seeing if they're smart enough to graduate from elementary school. So if that sounds like a game that you would like to play, you can currently purchase it on Steam and on Xbox for $5. And that's pretty much it. Boom. That's the very short outro.
I appreciate
Let's
it,
get
brother.
you to your next show.
Listen, everyone, thank you so much. The 600 people that tuned in, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to see you literally in 60 seconds on the new episode of X Vlog Live. So bounce out of here, bounce over there, and we'll see you soon. Let me get to the outro. And take care. Thanks for joining us, man, on this short notice. We'll see you soon.